Welcome to Sex Ed with DB. I'm your host, DB. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the MVP of my nightstand, Uber Lube. It's silky, long-lasting, and makes sex smoother for literally everyone involved. Solo, partnered, situationship, whatever. It reduces friction, boosts pleasure, and it's condom-friendly, scent-free, and not sticky. I love a lube that's recommended by leading doctors and gentle on sensitive skin. Want to upgrade your lube? Use code SEXEDWITHDB for 10% off at uberlube.com. Treat yourself to some Uber Lube. If you like external toys like I do, boy do I have a rec for you. Say hello to Lily 3 from Lalo, the vibe that proves size isn't everything. She's great for beginners, travel ready, waterproof, and shaped to fit perfectly against your vulva for maximum contact and minimum fuss. 10 vibration settings, all body safe silicone, and totally discreet. Unlock the universe of pleasure in the palm of your hand. Grab yours at lelo.com with code SEXEDWITHDB for 15% off at checkout. Meet the new Magic Wand Waterproof, my go-to shower toy. It's the most powerful magic wand ever made, chock full of those famous deep, rumbly vibrations, now totally cordless and totally bath-friendly. We're talking about using this in the shower, check. Tub, check. With 4 intensity levels, 4 vibration patterns, an intuitive control panel, and that soft silicone head with the flexible neck Magic Wand is known for. Long-lasting rechargeable battery, full-size power, and lots of amazing orgasms. The Magic Wand Waterproof. Pleasure just went aquatic. Hello, and welcome back to Sex Ed with DB. I'm DB, your favorite sex educator and pleasure expert. And today we are celebrating something that feels very surreal. 13 seasons of Sex Ed with DB. And so we're doing 13 lessons for 13 seasons of talking about sex, 13 seasons of saying words like clitoris and orgasm and hue cow fetish into a microphone, 13 seasons of fighting stigma, amplifying queer voices, centering BIPOC experts, and reminding you that pleasure is not a luxury. It is your birthright, as amazing guest Dr. Lex Brown James likes to say. So today I'm going to share 13 lessons I have learned from 13 seasons of building this show, being a sex educator, building this brand, and creating this community. Some lessons are about sex, some are about business, and some are just about being a person on this earth who loves what she does. So let's, as I say in the beginning of every episode, get into it. Lesson 1, pleasure is political. Pleasure isn't frivolous. It's not a nice to have. It's not indulgent, and it's not something that you earn. Pleasure is access. It's autonomy. It's agency over your body. It is a human right. And the more that I've interviewed experts, from therapists to doctors to activists, the more that I've realized that denying people pleasure is a control tactic, and teaching pleasure and preaching pleasure is resistance. Lesson 2, shame thrives in silence. Every time that someone has DM'd me something like, I thought I was the only one who experienced this, or I feel so weird saying this, or I have no one to talk to about this, I want to let you know that you are not the only one. Whether it's low desire or libido or trouble orgasming or thinking that you're weird because you have a kink that might be different than typical kinks, pregnancy scares, abortion, STIs, body image, shrinks when we speak things out loud and when we take power over them. And this is what this show has always been about at Sex Ed with DB, is making sure that you feel less shame and more power. Lesson 3, the clitoris deserves better. I've said this before, and I will say it again. The clitoris has 11,000 plus nerve endings, and thank you to past guest and amazing Dr. Blair Peters for doing this incredibly important research. And somehow the clitoris still gets less cultural respect than it deserves. And If there are a few things that this podcast has done consistently, they are normalizing anatomy, naming our body parts, teaching the science, and centering external stimulation. We are absolutely done pretending that penetration alone is the gold standard for people with vulvas. Lesson number 4, normal is a myth. There is no normal frequency of sex, normal fantasy, normal orgasm timeline, normal libido. There's only consensual, informed, aligned, and empowered. And if it works for you and the people involved, who gives a shit? That is the metric. That is the thing that you should be striving for. Lesson 5, communication is the real foreplay. You can have the best toys in the world, best lingerie and lube, but if you can't say, that feels good, can you go slower? Can we try something different? I'm not in the mood for that right now. Can you touch me here? It doesn't matter. We need to be able to communicate, especially with ourselves and specifically with the folks who we are dating, having sex with, partnered with. The sexiest thing is when someone can express a need clearly, and practicing communication will lead to better sex. Lesson 6, your body is not a problem. Over 13 seasons, I have heard countless stories, and people really do think that their body is strange or something is wrong about them, that cellulite and that stretch marks are bad, that fat is bad, and it's not. Usually the reason why we feel this way about our bodies is because a lack of education, stress, certain kinds of medication or hormones, cultural messaging, relational dynamics, trauma, or unrealistic expectations about ourselves. Your body is your home. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching that one clip of Emma Thompson saying, your body is your vessel, your body is your home. And it's really where we live. We should be appreciating it for what it does. It's adaptive. As John Mayer likes to say, it's a wonderland. I'm sorry I had to do it. And your body is not your enemy. And I think for a long time growing up, I really thought that my body was my enemy. And I think the more and more that I age and the more that I feel at home in my body, the more I can just take a deep breath into it and know that, like, when I'm on my deathbed, I don't want to be thinking about like flabby arms. It's just like not what I want to be doing. So if you are at war with your body, I am imploring you to think about how can you become someone who's at peace with it, or at least neutral about it. Not even, having to love it quite yet, just feeling neutral. And then eventually, what would it feel like to love your body? Lesson 7. Most of us were given absolute horrific shit sex ed. A lot of us experienced abstinence only, fear-based, very pregnancy or STI focused, with zero pleasure, nothing about queerness, no nuance. And here we are expected to just know how to have good, pleasurable sex for everyone involved. And it's no wonder that we're so confused and are needing assistance. Re-educating yourself as an adult is not embarrassing. It's powerful. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into Sex Ed with DB to get the best education, hopefully, for you when it comes to your sex ed, even as an adult. We should have been taught these things when we were younger. And the fact that we're all on this journey together, unlearning and relearning things that we need to know about our bodies and our health and our reproductive autonomy, it means a lot to me. So thank you so much. Lesson 8, research changes lives and perspectives. From interviewing scientists at major institutions to leading my own large-scale pleasure research, data matter. And when we can say, here's what 1,000 people reported in a masturbation study, or here is what improves quality of lives, or here's what actually correlates with sexual satisfaction, it validates lived experience. And if you're a research buff like I am, make sure to tune into our most recent episode with guest Dr. Shamika Thorpe about cutting edge pleasure research for Black women. We can link that and a few other research focused episodes in the show notes if you're interested in checking those out if you missed them, or if you just want to listen again. Lesson 9, desire is contextual. Dr. Emily Nagoski talks about spontaneous versus responsive desire. And just as a reminder, spontaneous is when you feel desire out of the blue, seemingly out of nowhere. And responsive desire means that there is something that creates that spark. It's responsive to stress, sleep, safety, body image, relationship dynamics, hormones, mental health, and smut. If you haven't heard, we've been shouting it from the rooftop, so where have you been? But if you haven't heard, we created a smut quiz for everyone who, like me, has responsive desire. I personally need that something, that spark in order to get in the mood. And I think that this quiz is just that. It's 5 questions. It'll match you with your desired smut to get in the mood. We drop you right in the good part, only a few pages. We'll link the smut quiz in the show notes for you as well if you haven't taken it. Over 300 people, 300 smutty sluts have taken our smut quiz, and I can't wait to get it out there to more folks. So make sure you take it if you're interested in getting that spark for your responsive desire. Lesson 10 is a businessy one, but business and pleasure can really coexist for me. And I feel very grateful. Building the show into a 6-figure business has taught me something really important, which is that I can talk about sex, be values driven, center marginalized voices, and I can get paid doing it. And ethical monetization has been a path that I've been very, very grateful for, to work with these brands and these sponsors to get paid for what I do. And yeah, making sure that folks who are listening genuinely feel excited about the sponsors and the products that I'm excited about too feels so great. And pleasure professionals deserve financial sustainability. And I feel very grateful that I have that. Lesson 11, vulnerability builds community. Some of the most impactful episodes weren't the most polished or the most researched. They were the most honest, or the ones where I laughed a bunch with the guest. If you haven't heard my and Melissa Stripe's episode, I think we have a couple episodes together. She is an amazing, hilarious sex educator and comedian. And every time I have her on the podcast, I just die laughing every time. And I just love the fact that I can talk about abortion, body image, relationship shifts, and really feel like I'm getting education out there, but also having a good time, laughing, sharing more vulnerability. That's exactly how I want to be spending my time, and building community doing that has felt absolutely incredible. Lesson 12, it's very cheesy, so just buckle up. Being myself has always led me to where I want to go. And that's just important for me to reflect on. I feel very lucky to be who I am, and I'm proud of myself, and I feel confident in this show and what I'm able to do with so many incredible guests and our wonderful community. We have so many episodes. This is our 330th episode, and I just can't even believe it. I just feel so thrilled to be doing this work and to keep being me and keep challenging myself and keep growing, while keeping in mind that I'm not really here to be anyone else. Again, I know it's really cheesy, so thank you for not leaving. But that is really how I feel, and I think it's an important lesson for me as the host of Sex Ed with DB, and just me as a person in the world to recognize. All right, last lesson, lesson 13 for 13 seasons of Sex Ed with DB. We are in many ways just getting started. In 13 seasons, I can tell you this, we have so much to unlearn, so much to explore, so much pleasure to normalize. Sex is a very human topic, and I feel very lucky to be able to be your guide for all the folks who have been listening. And as long as shame exists, as long as disenfranchisement exists, as long as people in political power try to make us feel less than, we will keep showing up, and I will keep being here every week. So if you've been here since season 1, if you just joined this episode or last week, if you've ever shared an episode with a friend or DM'd something vulnerable or filled out our anonymous question box, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are why this show exists. And I want to hear from you. I say it every episode, but email me at sexedwithdb@gmail.com. I'm curious to hear what has been your biggest lesson from listening to Sex Ed with DB, whether you've been listening to 1 or 100 episodes or anything in between or beyond. You can DM us, you can leave a review, you can share your favorite episode. I'm so excited to celebrate 13 seasons with you and with my team, with honesty, curiosity, and a whole lot of pleasure. We will be releasing some best of episodes and other fun content in the next few weeks between seasons, but I will see you all in season 14. Love y'all.